Good morning and welcome. At this time, I call to order Muskogee Creek National Council pre-agenda, December 18th, 2021. Time is 9:20 a.m. This time, I'd like to ask Second Speaker Darrell Proctor to do the invocation, please. Amen. Thank you, Second Speaker. Roll call. Legislative Clerk Tracy Wade.
Speaker Randall Hicks.
Present.
Mary Crawford.
Present.
Joyce Deer.
Present.
Patrick Freeman. Joseph Hicks.
Here.
Robert Huff.
Present.
James Jennings. Adam Jones.
Here.
William Lowe.
Here.
Anna Marshall.
Present.
Charles McHenry. Thomasina Hulla Osborne.
Present.
Darrell Proctor.
Here.
Mark Randolph.
Present.
Travis Scott.
Here.
Lucian Tiger.
Present.
Speaker, you have 15 present, 1 absent.
15 present, 1 absent constitutes a quorum. All business conducted will be official. Agenda review, health, education, and welfare. Chairman Lucian Tiger, third.
We have no additions, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Tiger. Land, Natural Resources, and Cultural Preservation. Chairman Mark Randolph.
No, Speaker, we have no additions.
Thank you, sir. Business, Finance, and Justice, Chairman William Lowe.
Mado, Speaker. This morning at 8:30, BF&J met for a committee meeting. I'd like to add the following items to the agenda numerical order: TR 21-158, TR 21-173, NCA 21-165, NCR 21-014. Mado, Speaker.
Thank you, sir.
Speaker,
Representative Randolph.
my apologies. We met during our budget hearing meeting, and we do have 2 bills that we need to add. TR 21-172 and TR 21-171. And we would respectfully ask that that be added to our agenda. Numerical order. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Representative Randolph.
Sorry about that.
This concludes the agenda review. Next item on the agenda is other business. This morning we have 3 nominee interviews. First, we have Lucinda Myers. Ms. Myers, if you would come to the podium, please. Ms. Myers is a nominee for the election board. Ms. Myers, is that green light on the microphone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Myers, welcome, and if you would, just explain a little bit about yourself, your education, background to the National Council for this position.
Okay. Hello. First of all, I just want to say good morning and thank you for taking the time to consider my nomination for the election board. My name is Lucinda Myers and I live in Oklahoma City. I grew up in Holdenville within our Muskogee jurisdiction and graduated from Holdenville High School. Also attended Eufaula boarding school during my childhood. I am the first in my family to go to college and to get a master's in social work. Both my parents had a 3rd grade education, no more than a 3rd grade education. I in my social work education, I did community development, community building, and administrative social work was my focus. I have spent most of my career working with Native American populations. I currently serve as a tribal liaison for a health insurance company. And prior to that, I was a liaison for a Oklahoma State Department of Mental Health. And so I work with our tribal nations, building partnerships, educating our Native Americans about the importance of health insurance. Some of my volunteer work, I serve as a chair for the Oklahoma County Indian Child Welfare Act Post-Adjudication Review Board for the Commission of Children and Youth, where we review cases of children that are in state custody and ensure that ICWA is being complied with our DHS workers, so our child welfare workers, and we submit recommendations to the state court system to ensure in the best interest of our Native children that are in state custody. And I also serve on the board for a Native women organization, so ensuring that our women that are outside of their tribal jurisdiction are able to get support and to advocate for their families and for their tribal communities. And also do a lot of work within our Oklahoma City for our citizens in the Oklahoma City area. So I, have helped our elders ensure that they know about the resources within the Muskogee Creek Nation, and also helped with a face mask drive, things like that, to ensure that our tribal citizens that are in Oklahoma City know about the services we have.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. Council, do you have any questions for Ms. Myers?
Speaker.
Representative Lowe.
Widow Speaker. I've known Lucinda for quite some time. I appreciate seeing fellow boarding school attendees, have the opportunity for tribal leadership positions, as grown-ups now. I have been in organizations where I've been able to observe Lucinda, and she, the Indian Chamber of Commerce in specific, I feel should be great for this position, and I support her 100%. Mado.
Thank you, Representative Lowe. Any other discussion or questions? Representative Jones.
I support Lucinda. I've known her a long time as well. Lucinda, how do you see how you can enhance the election office? Since 2016, we roughly had about 17,000 citizens that are registered voters. As of today, we're just roughly 17,000 citizens, 17,800. We've only grown by 20,000 citizens registered since the ARPA, and we're about 93,000 citizens. But as the election board that we have now is pretty much, I felt, failed us because, we don't have very many people that vote. So we had 2,500 in the last election, 3,300, 1,300 votes didn't get counted. I can account for that, which is, probably not fair to the citizen that we ask them, we want their vote and we want their vote to count, but we didn't count it. So how do you see to get more people registered since we've only grown by 1,000 in 5 years?
Yeah, I know that's really challenging, and with the, distrust or not enough information about the importance of voting. It's, we're the Native Americans, they have one of the last to vote, and we're still having challenges nationwide on voting, for example, in South Dakota. And it's important that people know that, it's important to have your voice heard. Even though, you may not seem like it's making a difference, it does. And I think that really working with the community and working with our council and working with the board members to ensure we have the education out there. I noticed that the form to register to vote is online, and it's something you have to print off and have access to a computer, have access to a printer. And I know that's been a challenge, especially in the Oklahoma City area. I've helped elders print off applications and, ensure they fill out the application. And I think sometimes that's what it takes, is to, to work one-on-one with individuals. I don't believe it was on my application, but I served for the 2020 census as a numerator, so walking door to door and trying to get people to fill out the census, and that's also a challenge. And it takes time. It takes a relationship building with our citizens, and letting them know the importance for completing the census that provides funding to our tribes, and it provides funding to their community. So I know it's going to be a challenge, but I think my skills, my background will help in working with our committees and working with our board members, working with the employees within the election board. So I'm eager to do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative Jones. Representative Jennings.
Good morning, Mr. Myers. I just have a couple of questions for you, and one of them being, are you aware how many meetings you are required to meet with the election board?
I believe it's once a month until the election. Is that correct? I know there's maybe more meetings that I would need to, and especially during election time, it's going to be really busy.
Okay, so yes, ma'am. So this will be 2022's budget for the election board. They state that they will have 24 meetings. And so this is an off year, that we don't have an election this year. So what are your goals for 2022 in an off election year?
I was reading in the Title 19, the election code, and noticed that we had some precinct workers, precinct committees within each of the districts. So one of my ideas, and I would love to share and also work with the board to see, but I really think it needs to be at the community level. Identifying key people within our communities and having them be a voice, help people register. So if we can look at, how we can do that, we can work with our community, build their trust, and also ensure that, have listening sessions if we need to see what are some of the challenges as to why they're not voting. And when we're looking at this year is also a big year for our state election because a lot of the governor position is going to be up, things like that. So we need to ensure that our citizens are aware. Our tribal sovereignty could be at stake. We need to have a voice. Our tribal voice needs to be present in those elections as well. So having, our representation not only at the tribal level, but the state and the federal level is very important. I hope I answered that.
Yes, that's
Council?
good. I appreciate your comments on the state election. We all know that we have a governor that needs to be replaced. So my other comment is that, you won't be able to come to all the meetings, I'm assuming, due to weather or whatever, but you'll be able to Zoom in. And I don't have anything against you living in Oklahoma City and being on that board. Previously, we had Miss Dunson, who I thought done a great job on the election board. So I'll support you. Thank you.
No.
Thank you, Representative Jennings. Any other? Hearing none, Ms. Myers, you will be on the 10 a.m. agenda. So thank you.
Okay, Mado.
Next, we have Michael Kuhn. Mr. Kuhn, if you would come down to the podium, sir. Mr. Kuhn is a nominee for the Cemetery Advisory Committee Board. Mr. Kuhn, good morning.
Morning.
Mr. Kuhn, if you would, just tell the council a little bit about yourself, qualifications for this position, please.
I'm a former Vietnam era veteran, 3 years, served during the Vietnam War from 71 through 73. I come from 3 generations of regular Army. My father, as you know, was a World War II Bataan Death March survivor. Myself, I followed my dad's footsteps, and my son followed in mine, which is part of the Mission 22 Memorial that we have gone forward with. I'm affiliated with Rolling Thunder. What we do is we go to the vet centers in Claremore. We go to not Eufaula, but El Reno, Anadarko. We go to all different vet centers, and we help our veterans that are sick and can't get out, and that's their place of living right now. So we have bingos for them. We raise funds through Rolling Thunder, a nonprofit 501(c) organization that I'm affiliated with. That we go and we make sure that we take care of our vets. that can't help themselves. And they don't have this, with this COVID came in, it was so bad that we had to go and we finally got to be able to go in. We feed them. We have fish fries for them. You know, we take presents. We do bingos, and it just lifts our hearts when we see these veterans and stuff to be able to play bingo. And it's not a whole lot of money, but if they get $2, $3, 10, 20, it just lightens their face up and stuff that they know that people care to come in and to have this fish fry for them and to come in and to just, I mean, to let them know that they're not forgotten and everything. And so I'm also a service officer for DAV. I'm a lifetime member of DAV and also a lifetime member of here in Eufaula. I do a lot of different veteran organizations with the veterans and stuff. My passion is for the veterans. As you know, I just finished completing for veteran suicide awareness for the 20 a day that we lose to suicide. We look to bring that down to zero. I know with this COVID, it really hit us hard. Just last few days, I've lost 2 more service members to suicide. Spoke with the Gold Star families and stuff, and kind of just tell them that I've walked that road that they're walking, getting ready to walk right now. That to not give up and don't go in a corner and ball up and stuff, because there's other people out there need help, and that we need to reach out to them, be compassionate to them, and tell them to know that it's going to be okay, because someday they will be back with their loved ones again. And so we make it a stress and a point that we reach out to these families, these Gold Star families, and let them know. And I know the Creek Nation has really supported me on my journey through being the steward of Mission 22 of as far as making a national memorial here in the city of Broken Arrow on our reservation, that we'll be able to announce that no other nation has ever had a national memorial for veterans of this magnitude for our vets and stuff. So I think it's a tribute to our nation to let them know that, you know, we're first on board to have a suicide awareness memorial for our vets, not for just only tribal, but for all nations in the United States and stuff. So I think that's my passion as far as on the committee on the cemetery. I don't know in detail what they want me to do, but as far as when I first started the memorial for Mission 22, I didn't know what they wanted me to do, but they wanted me to find a permanent location for it. I know that the cemetery already has land appropriated for the cemetery and everything, but if I do get on the committee, that I would make sure that it would be a committee that our tribal elders and our vets would be proud to go there for their last resting place and stuff, that it would be an honorable place for them to be part and to be part of this committee. I don't know many of the members that are on the committee, but I know that with my passion for the vets, that I would give my 100% and everything to the vets, that I would support whichever way that they wanted to go. But, you know, as far as the nation and everything, I think it's great that our tribe is going forward with our vets and stuff, that it's just an honor to be part of, to be Muskogee and stuff, to be part of that, of our nation and everything. But not only my father and following his footsteps and stuff, but of all my uncles and my nephews and my cousins and stuff that all served in the military, and all our tribal families and everything, our brothers and sisters that have served in the military, so distinguished in everything, that we have the highest ethnic group that served in the military. But I'm also the Region 5 commander for 39 tribes here in Oklahoma, that we looking to do House Bill 1725 to pass for 574 federal recognized tribes, that Native American veterans will have their own charter. We won't have to have a DAV, VFW, or American Legion. We'll have our own Native American charter, where we can go ahead and reach out to other veterans, because most veterans, when they move away and stuff, they can't get the help if they're in our jurisdiction, and we can only help in our jurisdiction. But being on a national charter, that means if our citizens move to California or go to Wisconsin or Florida, we'll be able to reach out and help. No matter what tribe they are, we'll be able to help them federal recognized veterans and stuff. So it's an honor here to be here today, to be selected, or I mean, not selected, but to be in a position to be appointed on this committee. And I appreciate everything. that the tribe has done for me and everything and for my family. And no, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Coon. Council, you have any questions for Mr. Coon?
Speaker, I have a comment, sir.
Representative Lowe.
Widow Speaker. You know, I've known Mr. Coon for quite some time, and I definitely appreciate his passion for all of us veterans. And we, you know, in this open forum, I want to say thank you for that, first of all, sir. You know, I think with Mr. Coon being on this committee, he has several veterans resources that he brings to the table as well. So I feel it'd be appropriate to have him on this committee, and I support him. Widow Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Lowe. Any other discussion? Questions? Representative Jennings.
Thank you, Speaker. I too, as a veteran, will support you, Mr. Coon. I appreciate all you do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Jennings. Any other discussion or questions for Mr. Coon? Hearing none. Mr. Coon, thank you for your time coming this morning. And just stick
Thank you.
around and be on the 10 o'clock agenda. Next nominee we have this morning is Roger Wiley, Chief Justice of District Trial Court. Good morning, Mr. Wiley. Sorry about that. Ms. Wiley, if you would, just state briefly, state about yourself, qualifications for this position, please.
All right. Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity to come here. I want to thank Chief Hill for nominating me. I appreciate the confidence he's shown in me because this is probably one of the most important positions here at the nation. The courts are a separate but equal branch of government, and it's important that they run and function appropriately as they should, especially with the McGirt ruling and all the cases that we're dealing with now. This is a significant challenge. You know, I can go through my background, born and raised in Sapulpa. My grandparents, my dad are all from the Dustin, Hanna area. You all know that. I've known all of you for at least 2 years, and some of you for almost 20 or more. So there's no need for me to talk about myself. I thought what I'd do is talk about what I would do if I were the judge, because I think that's the most important thing that you need to hear. First of all, we need to unlock the doors and answer the phones. It's very important that you answer telephones when you're running a court. A court needs to be accessible to the public. If the public doesn't have access to the court, it doesn't trust the court. So trust is one of the most important things a court can have. And one way to do that is to be fair and to be accessible. People should be able to contact the court and ask questions whenever they want. You know, there are situations in courts where you could get a traffic ticket and, you know, if you could have a suspended driver's license, in fact, and you need to be able to call the court clerk and pay that fine and clear up your ticket. And if there's no one to answer the phone, you're driving around with a suspended license, subject to arrest at any time. So it's important that we have an operating, functioning court clerk's office. I would send out a uniform bond schedule to all the jails so that we've got to figure out a way for people who are incarcerated to post bond at the jail so they don't have to come to court to post bond. It's hard to do when you're in jail. So there's a better way for that to function. I think we should have a bond schedule circulated to all the law enforcement agencies and all the jails that we have contracts with. I don't believe the court should do bond review hearings unless those are requested by the defendants. Currently, the court on its own motion will review bonds, and I don't think that's appropriate because some people don't deserve a reduced bond. And unless they can prove they deserve it, they shouldn't be given one just because you know, the court may feel like they've been in jail too long. Some of them should stay in jail. Bench warrants should be issued to people who don't appear for traffic court. As it currently stands, if someone appears for traffic court, they're either found guilty or not guilty. If they don't appear, their ticket's dismissed. And that's not fair to the people who show up because they are actually showing the respect to the court they should be showing. Those who don't appear should have bench warrants issued. And I feel like that's something appropriate that should be done in our courts. We need to try to hire at least 2 more, maybe 3 more emergency judges to help with the backload of cases. Chief Hill and I both sent letters to the Supreme Court requesting that the court appoint emergency judges. They can do that, as you know, for up to a year, the Supreme Court can. And they would help significantly with this backload. My understanding is we have several hundred cases who are stagnating over there in the court. We need to have shorter dockets and categorize those dockets, all dockets for domestic violence, one criminal docket, one civil docket, and on and on. It just creates a better system. We need to figure out what's going on with that federal bankruptcy courtroom. Do we have a lease? Can we use that space? What are we doing with it? And if necessary, start having hearings and trials over there. These are some of the initial things I think should be done. And I think if we do these things, we can start clearing up this docket and clear up the backlog. The courts have to give people confidence. And I'm not trying to be offensive because I think we have two really good part-time judges who are doing everything they can. But like I said, they're part-time and they can't do it all. So we need more people helping, and we need to clear up those backlogs and restore confidence in the court, because quite honestly, there's not a whole lot of confidence in the court right now.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. Questions for Mr. Wiley? Representative Huff.
I've known Mr. Wiley for quite a few years, and I think he's done a great job where he is now. And hate to lose him as far as the AG goes, but I think he can represent the council, the nation, and the court system very well. I look forward to him being there. Thank you. I support him.
Thank you, Representative Huff. Any other questions?
Speaker, I have a comment, please.
Representative Lowe.
Hello, Speaker. I think Mr. Wiley, having boots on the ground during this pandemic, the McGirt ruling, he has firsthand knowledge and observation of what we actually need to move forward and have a successful reservation. So I definitely support him for this role. Hello, Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Lowe. Any other questions or comments? Representative Jennings.
Thank you, Speaker. I too support Mr. Wiley. He's been here as AG for 2 or 3 different administrations, but he also served on the Supreme Court for several years, and I will support him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Representative Jennings. Any other comments, questions? Representative Jones.
Thank you, Speaker. I support Mr. Wiley. I've known him a long time. He's an asset to the tribe, and he'll do a very good job at this. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative Jones. Any other discussion or comments? Hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Wiley. See you at 10 o'clock. Okay. Is there any other business? Hearing none, down to announcements. The regular session will begin 10 a.m. Any other announcements? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second Speaker Proctor made a motion to adjourn, seconded by Representative Tiger.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned, 9:48.